Getting back into content creation in 2022 was one of the most life-changing things that I've ever done. I've amassed over 35,000 followers across 3 different platforms, and honestly, it has changed everything in the way that I view my life today. I'm gonna show you guys the exact process on how I got started back in 2022 and what I would do differently if I would be starting today. So to give you guys some context on who I am, my name is Nico Schultz. I'm a track and field content creator, and I have over 13,000 followers on YouTube, 15,000 on Instagram, and a little bit over 11,000 on TikTok. Now, to give you guys some context of what the content creation world was kind of like back in 2022, it wasn't as freely accessible as it is now. Obviously, we had influencers back then, but nowadays with TikTok adding the new subtitles feature, with Instagram doing new things like trial features, and Reels basically being everywhere, everything is more or less being monetized and everything can be viewed as content nowadays. But back then, that wasn't always the case. Starting out early in my content creation days, I was very lost on what I should be posting, when I should be posting. Overall, I was just posting anything and anything that really just came to my mind, right? And that overall, it helped me be consistent, but overall it did hurt me because I didn't niche down. I didn't specifically niche down until about the year of 2024, and that's when I started seeing the most overall growth in all of my content. I was making videos like football content, track and field content, lifestyle content, fitness content, food eating content, interview content. I was doing anything and everything just to get my name and my brand out there. But when people ask me, what do you do? Are you an influencer? Are you a content creator? I really didn't have a straightforward answer for them because I was just posting anything. Some videos would blow up, some videos wouldn't. But early on, when I was first learning how to edit, when I was first learning how to do things, my videos sucked. And that is something that you will have to understand when you're first on creating content, is that your first videos, they're gonna be very rough sketches. They're gonna be very trial and error processes you're gonna have to go through in order to figure out who is your audience, what type of content will I be posting, and what is my niche. And that's something I had to understand very early on. It was, am I a track and field content creator? Am I a lifestyle content creator? Do I create skits? There's a ton of things that you have to try out in order to figure out what works right with the audience, and overall, what do you want the algorithm to do with your content? So when you're posting content, the algorithm sees your content and it selects a certain type of people, a certain niche of people that it should push your type of content out to. And it's gonna test out the first 100 to about 500 people. They're gonna give your content to that amount of people, and then those amount of people are either gonna like it or they're either gonna not engage with it, and then that's why your video is not gonna get any views. So very early on when my content wasn't good, I wasn't getting any views, I wasn't getting any engagement, and it was very discouraging at first. Back in 2022, for one of my first ever videos, I remember I spent probably 2 or 3 days working on this video, and I was so happy about my work. I was so proud of it. I put everything I had into it, and I think it got like 500 views within the first week, and I just completely gave up. I was so frustrated and distraught that I put all this time and effort and energy into this one video, and it just completely flopped. And so I took a break for about an entire year. The entire year of 2023, I kind of gave up on my YouTube influencer dreams and just basically live my life. But then fast forward to early 2024 when the track season was starting up again, and I noticed that video jumped from 500 views to 13,000 views just like that overnight. And I remember seeing a bunch of engagement, a bunch of comments of people asking me, hey, can you post another video like this? Or hey, can you help me with that? Or like, yo, you're a really good content creator, you should post more, right? And just that video doing that got me into a whole nother realm of posting more consistently, of being more creative. And that's why I always try to preach to everybody who wants to get into the world of content creation, is to not get discouraged early on. In the very beginning, if I would have gave up just because that one video did bad, I wouldn't be here speaking with you today. I wouldn't have worked with tons and numerous different types of brands out there, and I would have missed out on the whole world of opportunity that was unforeseen at the time just because I was mad about a few views, right? You have to be consistent and you have to stay true to yourself, and it's always good to remember why you started at the end of the day. And some more advice when it comes to starting out and building your own brand. You don't need the most expensive camera, you don't need the most expensive mics, you simply just need to get a phone, your iPhone, whatever you're using to watch this video. And if you don't have a mic, fine, just try to speak very closely and clear to the camera, or you can buy a $20 to $30 shotgun mic off of Amazon, or wireless mic. It shouldn't cost you that much money. You don't have to go with the most expensive gear, because at the end of the day, all it is about what you can provide to your audience. You either have to decide, are you in the entertainment industry? Are you in the industry to help provide information of how to solve different things? Maybe you're like a mechanic and you want to show people your mechanical skills. Maybe you speak multiple languages and you want to show people your language learning techniques, right? You have to understand early on, what is your goal of the video? Now, when it comes to scripting out each and every single video, right? What value are you providing to the audience? what are you here to do? What is the reason that people should click on your video, right? And you have to make sure that your thumbnails are very good when getting into the world of content creation. You have to make sure that, okay, why should this person click on the video? You have to spend a lot of time on your thumbnails, and there's tons of different YouTube tutorials on different platforms and different ways to create good thumbnails. I personally use Photoshop for mine, but I've been recently getting into Canva as of recently. But you can do tons of different things like Illustrator. You can use ChatGPT to generate your thumbnails. There's so many different ways to become a content creator and do things effectively nowadays, right? To jump from 1,000 to 10,000, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of grinding, and it took a lot of trial and error when it came to my type of content. I slowly transitioned from the vlog form content to more of the informational and the how-to type of content. How to run faster, how to get a D1 scholarship, how to run the fastest times, right? And overall, you're gonna evolve. And overall, the YouTube algorithm is gonna consistently change over time. And what I like to do is kind of supplement my content and mix it into all three of my different platforms. Meaning, if I were to post a video on TikTok, right, I'm gonna take that video on TikTok and then I'm gonna put it onto my Instagram. And then also, I'll take that video from my Instagram and I'll put it also onto my YouTube Shorts. But when it came to my long form content on YouTube, that is very specific just to YouTube. Different platforms call for different things. Sometimes I like to mix it up. Maybe a sound that I'll use on TikTok that I won't use for Instagram. And then maybe a long video that I post on YouTube isn't really meant for TikTok. It isn't really meant for Instagram, right? Tons of trial and error. I do highly recommend downloading CapCut and getting the premium version as well to help you with these subtitles. And you can easily learn how to edit and upload videos through CapCut as well. But in the day and age now, you have tons of influencers out there who can give you great advice on how to edit videos. You have tons of different ideas and niches to pick from. Anything can be viewed as content nowadays. Anything can be monetized. As long as you believe in yourself and you tell yourself, I'm willing to do this, you just go out there and hit the record button. Being consistent, I'm kind of torn about being consistent, because if you consistently put out bad content, your content's never gonna blow, right? I'm a big quality over quantity person. A video that you can view a year ago from me is still applicable today. It's still a video that can generate views today. It's still a video that you would want to sit down and watch, right? And that's just from years of experience. I have over 5 years of experience of making content, posting, editing videos, right? And so make sure that you think long-term when it comes to posting. Make sure that you are considering your audience when posting. Make sure that you're doing the small things correctly. That was one thing I was doing very early on. I was skipping the small steps. I wasn't researching the right types of captions to use. I would carelessly pick sounds, and I would only post videos that I would want to post. But you have to consider your audience when you're doing this. You have to consider who is the group of people that you are attempting to reach, right? And at the end of the day, it's all about just passion, dedication, and consistency. And as I said before, if you consistently put out bad content, you're never gonna get the right amount of views. But if you sit down, if you script your content, if you put out quality content, and you can do that on a week in, week out basis, I believe that you're gonna find the success that you've been looking for. So best of luck in your content creation journey, and let me know if you'd like to see more videos explaining how to get more views and how to begin your content creation journey.